Welcome back to another episode of Lock Stars. My name is Justin. I'm the greatest. And anyway, let's get it. And we're back. How you doing, man?
I'm chilling.
Chilling?
Yeah.
It's been a lot of great Yu-Gi-Oh news these past couple weeks.
Yeah, pretty lit, pretty interesting.
What was the last YCS?
No, it was Birmingham.
Birmingham. And Orlando was his past couple weeks too, right?
Yeah.
Past few weeks or something like that.
Nothing really special. Well, I guess something special. Dinkabooey. No wait. Yeah, Dinkabooey. He won with Fire King, which is very surprising. Not Fire King Snake Eye, just regular Fire King.
In Birmingham?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Alabama. They do a lot of weird shit down there.
No, in Europe.
What?
In Europe. My God.
Does not change my statement. They do a lot of weird shit over there. Birmingham. Where is that? Where is that? Birmingham.
In England.
In England?
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea. I'm thinking Birmingham, Alabama.
No. Freaking Americans.
I mean, our country is better, clearly. I mean, Europe kind of sucks. I mean, no hate, but I'm just stating objective fact.
That's fine, but it's still in England, Birmingham, England.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's really. How big are those YCSs anyway?
I'm not sure, but
I mean, it is in England. It's probably fairly big.
It's probably around, I don't know, probably around 2000, 15 to 2. I'm imagining. I don't really watch them. But I mean, it's fairly the same, just with Ryziel and the new what's it called? That new reptile archetype. And then, Malice. People seem to hate Malice for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why you started hating Malice all of a sudden. Malice seems like I don't know. I think it's a pretty fair deck. I don't see why people will get mad over it.
I don't know. People just want to be mad, I guess. They just want to say some deck is really good or broken or whatever.
Oh, Mitsurugi, that's what it is. So Ryzo Mitsurugi or Pure Mitsurugi, I guess. It's the new TCG exclusive archetype.
Mitsurugi.
Yeah.
What is that about?
I mean, it's a reptile ritual archetype, but
that's fun.
From what I've seen, it's basically, I mean, it can help you bridge into your Ryziel, but from what I've seen, it doesn't really do much besides I don't know, put up an interruption, and it's a little resource loop.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine, it's fine, but. That's really all it's for. I don't know if it can survive as its own deck. I have to look, but it seems like a fun archetype. But not right now, because the greatest deck of all time is about to be even greater by tomorrow.
By tomorrow?
Yeah, by tomorrow. Oh, it's already great. It's already out.
I don't know what the greatest deck of all time.
It is the greatest deck of all time, literally.
All right, stop bearing the lead and tell us.
It's Blue Eyes. The new Blue Eyes structure deck is about to come out, and I'm about to buy it. I'm about to buy 3 structure decks. Play me some Blue Eyes.
Is it a pretty simple deck? Is it like all you need is a structure deck?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I got to look at the contents,
and probably what's the one where you reveal one and summon it?
Alternative.
And then what, you need that, right? Or does that come in the structure deck?
I don't know if it comes with a structure deck. I gotta look up the contents of the structure deck.
That'd be pretty base. You should buy me some.
Why you suck? You suck. You don't deserve like. You don't have the comprehension it takes to wield the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Pretty simple. Pretty
Like,
simple.
God.
They acted like Kaiba was a genius, but
Kaiba was literally a genius. He literally invented time travel because he wanted to duel somebody. Yes, he was a genius. Duh.
but it didn't take
He
much
literally- like,
brain
what?
power to wield blue eyes.
He literally created like
I summoned big monster. I didn't win.
yeah. And he was literally one of the best duelists of all time.
Just saying.
Like,
Just,
what?
It happens all the time. Yeah.
Don't disrespect
I'm
Kaiba.
just saying. Anyway, but yeah, you should buy me some. But we'll talk about that later.
And then, well, how about I'll buy you something that I think fits your skill level. It's called Yummy. The Yummy cards that are coming out in
Is that the topic for today?
it's one of them.
One of them? Yeah.
I just want to talk about the Yummy cards because I think they're cool.
You can give me a yummy deck. I'd appreciate that. But that doesn't come out for a while. So but Blue Eyes comes out tomorrow. So.
Yeah, but either way, you don't have
you should definitely buy me the
the
Blue Eyes deck.
comprehension.
Yeah, those yummy cards are pretty insane. That's a pretty interesting name. But
Let's see here. They all, at least the main deck ones, they all have the same. They shared effect of you can special summon them from your hand if you control a Link 1 or level 2 Synchro monster, which is already might be a problem because Link 1s are broken. Let's see here. Cupsy Yummy. If it's normal summon or special summon, you can add one Yummy card from your deck to your hand. Or if it was special summoned by a synchro monster, you can draw one card instead. That card's good. That card's great. We love those. We love Stratos cards. We love those.
yeah.
And then we have, what's it called? Cookie Yummy.
Cookie, yeah.
You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls that loses 1,000 attack. Or if it's special summoned by a synchro monster, you can destroy that monster instead.
It's pretty wild.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good effect. I think I like cards that have, I guess, utility. Like that's a cool one of you probably. I'm not sure how this deck gonna play, but I think that's a good one of. Depending on like how often you want to summon your, your extra deck monsters.
So this is basically like a Synchro Link deck.
Synchro
Synchro and Link.
Sure, yeah. I guess you could say that since it does have the two synchros and two links.
Oh, the monsters are not the monsters, but the boss monsters effects out.
Yeah, those been out, or at least one of them been out.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Yummy.
Lollipo, Yummy.
Lolipo.
I'm pretty sure it's Lollipo, because Lollipop.
No, Lolipo.
That's the same special
Compton
summon
name.
the shared special summon effect. If this card is no one summoned or special summoned, you can target one card your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck. Or if this card was special summoned by a synchro monster, you can banish it instead. Me personally, I'd rather put a card back into the deck because I think.
I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, depending on the. Yeah, I mean, well, because people can recycle their banish now and you can get things back.
Yeah.
There's ways to get it back now. I mean, it seems like now that like just everywhere it's up for grabs. Right now, it just to the point where now it just depends on the deck.
Yeah. It is what it is.
We need a. Anyway, no, we won't get into that. But go ahead.
I think that's all the main deck monsters.
Mm-hmm.
For the Link monsters, there's one. It's called Yummy Snatchy, which I don't know.
Snatchy, like snack.
No, Snatch, like Snatchy, Snatch with a Y.
No, but like I'm guessing that's like.
I mean,
Like like I mean, like it's supposed to like that's what it's supposed to be referenced to, like snacks, right?
well, no, because like it looks like it's out of like a little game. That's why. Like if you look at it, it looks like because it's wearing like some type of weird space costume thing. I'm not sure what's representing. I'm assuming these are like representing like little characters from like snack machines, like they have in Japan.
Oh, maybe.
But
Maybe.
this specifically isn't referencing like snacks.
Oh. Maybe you just steal snacks. I don't know. That's why I call them snatchy.
So it requires it's a Link 1 bottom arrow. Requires a level 1 or lower light beast monster. If it's special summoned, you can place one yummy field spell from your hand or deck face up on your field.
That just sounds so weird.
What? Yummy field spell?
Yeah, yeah. This feels so is mad yummy, dude. It feels so mad delicious.
Which is, I assume, I think it's, well, also you cannot link summon link 3 or higher link monsters for the rest of the turn. All right, that's cool. No link climbing. That's lit. I like that.
Oh yeah, because I guess it could be used as an engine.
And
Might be
then
something like monsters.
so you're only
that's small.
wait, so you can only link summon. Okay, so you're only locked. You're only locked into link 2s and 1s. Once per chain during the main phase or your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can pay 100 life points. Immediately after this card resolve, synchro summon using yummy monsters you control. Seems random, just 100 life points. I mean, it's cute.
You know that Lyft story with the rapper girl.
Yeah.
This deck was made for her.
Oh my god, bro.
What? We're inclusive in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Anyway, I assume the synchro monsters have like an effect where you can link summon, like where you can link summon a yummy monster. Because what's the point? Because I'm reading this, like, what's the point of it? Like, if I have a yummy field spell in my hand, what's the point? Like, I just activate it. So I'm assuming the synchro monsters have that same effect where you can just link summon on your opponent's turn. Let's see here. I think this was the one where that got revealed earlier. It's called Cup C Yummy Way.
Yummy way?
Yeah, Yummy Way. Which is, it looks like it's just like the link monster, but it's like grabbing the little snacks like the main deck monsters. Is weird. It's a level 2 light beast synchro monster tuner.
Oh, and it's two. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. One tuner plus one non-tuner. For this card's synchro summon, you can treat one link 1 monster you control as a level 1 tuner. I like those type of cards. You know, like Sprite, was it Gigantic Sprite? You can also use like a Link 2 as a level 2 for his Exceed summon. I think those cards are really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if this card's synchro summon, you can add 2 yummy monsters from your deck to your hand, then discard 1 card. This deck is lit. When your opponent
No.
Don't say it, please.
What?
Don't say it. I'm just continuing reading this without you saying some stupid stuff. When your opponent activates a card or effect,
Mad disrespectful, bro.
You can return this card to the extra deck spell, summon 2 yummy monsters from your graveyard. That's good.
Say it one more time.
If it's when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can basically spin it to spell summon to revive 2 yummy monsters.
Spin their card?
No, spin the monster.
Oh, gotcha. That's crazy. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, and then so you use that spell summon your guys, and I guess you can potentially destroy one monster and spin or banish another. So that's cool. I like that. And then we got the other level 2 synchro called Cookie Yummy Way. So I guess like the synchro monsters are basically like the link monster, and then it's snatching. What are you looking at?
But can you continue, please?
It's basically the link monster, and then it's snatching the snacks. That's why I call it, yummy snatchy.
Oh yeah, see, stealing snacks. That's what I said.
What you say? I was referencing snacks.
No, but I did say like a little bit after that it steals snacks. Yeah. We can play the recording back. Everyone.
Cookie Yummy Way. Same thing. Level 2 light beast synchro tuner. For this card's synchro summon,
How do you spell way?
uh, WAY.
Oh, that one. Okay, I'm thinking of another way you spell it.
Same thing. You can use a synchro summon. You can use a Link 1 for its synchro summon. Any Link 1, I should say, as a level 1 tuner. If this card is synchro summoned,
You could use like a link monster as a tuner.
yeah, a Link 1
That's insane.
as a level 1 tuner for it.
That's broken, dude.
I don't know. I kind of like it,
Not broken, but like I mean,
but I
yeah,
think it definitely.
that's pretty good.
I think this is all good card design. If it's synchro summon, you can target up to 2 face-up monsters on the field. Change them to face-down defense position. When your opponent activates a card effect, you can return this card to the extra deck. And same thing. I think all the synchro monsters have that. You can spin it to revive yummy monsters. Yeah. So that's cool. That's lit.
Yummy monsters.
And then Lollipo Yummy Way.
Mm-hmm.
If it's synchro summon, you can spell summon 2 yummy monsters from your graveyard, but their effects are negated. Wait a minute. So, okay, so I think all this one does is it revives for both of its effects. So if it's synchro summoned, you can special summon 2 yummy monsters from your graveyard, but their effects are negated. Or if your opponent activates an effect, you can spin it and then special summon 2 yummy way monsters from your graveyard. So both of the effects do the same thing, but one I'm assuming it helps you climb, like synchro climb.
Konami's got to like make Konami's got to make joke cards for this. They just got to. If I don't see a support card named Yummy in my tummy, I'm gonna be very upset.
Oh my god, bro.
Or like a monster named like Gummy Way, right?
Only you think these things are
Or
funny.
like Yummy Yummy Gummy.
Only you think these things are funny. They're not funny.
They are. They're hilarious.
Shit.
It's hilarious.
I bet you were like, I bet you chuckled when you heard "totally awesome."
Yeah, probably. I probably smirked a bit. Yeah. I mean, who didn't, right? What's his name in the? Because what was his name in the OCG?
I don't know.
It was something totally different. I just came up with that. Yeah, let that sink in.
God, bro, how do we share?
All right, continue.
How do we share the same DNA, man?
I can't believe it either. You're not funny at all. It's crazy. Continue.
Yamizement Minion. It's the field. It's one of their field spells. You can only use the 2 and 3 effect of this card's name once per turn. Yummy monsters you control gain 500 attack for each light beast on the field. That's lit. If you control a Link 1 monster, you can target one level 1 Yummy monster in your graveyard, special summon it. These guys revive a lot. Like, it's a real big what do they call it? It's like it's almost like a resource loop.
They probably need it.
If this card's in your graveyard, you can target 2 yummy monsters in your graveyard or banishment. Place them and this card at the bottom of your deck in any order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm starting to like this deck. I'm starting to see how the deck works. And their other field spell, Yamizement Akroki. You can only use the 1, 2, and 3 effect of this card once per turn. If you synchro summon a light beast synchro monster, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. I like that.
Excuse me.
It's broken.
Does that all happen at the same time?
Well, no, because since you got to synchro summon and then it activates, if that's what you mean.
Oh, gotcha.
If a face-up monster you control leaves your field by an opponent's card effect, You can spell summon one yummy monster from your deck. Okay, all right, I like that. And then if this card's in your graveyard, you can target 2 yummy monsters in your graveyard and or banishment. Place them at the bottom of the deck with this card. Okay.
I always like those kind of trap cards, the ones that you can activate from the grave. I don't know. They
I
just
don't
make
know.
the game a little bit more
Well, these are
fun.
field spells.
Oh, that's a field spell?
Yeah, these are both. Yeah, those are 2 field spells that I just said.
Oh, never mind.
I don't like trap cards. Like every trap card does something in the graveyard now, which I don't like. I think that's very annoying. Like,
Oh, they're slow now. I kind of have to do something in the grave.
yeah, I know they gotta give more value, but I don't know. I don't like it.
I've always
Like
liked
it's
those
like
cards.
a trap card. Keep it like a trap card. Don't just give it a graveyard effect, just because. Here's their trap card, Yummy Redemption. It's a continuous trap. You can only use the 3rd effect of this card's name once per turn. Monsters your opponent controls lose 200 attack for each light beast monster you control and in your grave. Once per chain, if you synchro summon a light beast synchro monster, you can draw 1 card, then place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of the deck. And then, of course, it has a graveyard effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 yummy monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls. Switch control of both.
Both.
Right, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Seems like you can really utilize things like IP Masquerena, and I don't know if there's like a lot of light beasts. The only light beasts I can really think of are like the Ojamas.
Based. Ojama Yummies?
No,
Bro.
well, because you would have to run very. That sounds like a very obscure deck because
I'm going to try it. I'm trying it. It probably doesn't work, but I'm going to try it, though. Might be pretty fun.
there's also the Boojins.
Yeah, but isn't... no, that panda's a light beast, right? No, or is it Earth?
What panda?
That one, like, red panda monster. You know what I'm talking about? Like, super small. Has, like, a drum, I think, or some shit.
No, I probably know if I see it, but I can't really think of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
A bunch of the Fableds. Ooh, a bunch of the Fableds are light beast. I think that's cool. I've always wanted to play Fableds. I'm gonna build Fableds. Fableds are such a cool deck. Other than that, it's very just random cards like the ZWs, the like.
They're beasts? Interesting.
Well, some of them are. At least. But, this is a very fun deck. I like the deck. I'm going to build this deck. I don't know what else you could play it with, but I think this deck has a lot of potential to be a very good engine. Has nice interruption, nice resource loop. I do enjoy, I enjoy cards. I enjoy decks that have a good resource loop, can have a good mid-range gameplay.
Yeah, it seems like really fun. Seems like really fun to play. Definitely would build this. Especially if I could put Ojamas in it.
Why do you gotta be so bad? God.
I'm fun. I'm sorry.
Since you're so terrible, I think,
Bro, you are a mean person.
I'm just
I
speaking
have not
facts.
said anything mean to you. Like,
I'm just speaking facts.
oh my god,
You just said I wasn't funny.
that's not mean. That's just true.
Like, okay, and you're bad. That's
Oh,
true.
no.
But don't
I'm
worry.
pretty decent.
Don't worry. I'll say I will help you. Because there is a way that you can learn to get better at this game.
It's kind of blind leading the blind here, huh?
What? Excuse me?
No, go ahead.
Anyway, since you need to get better at the game, I think you can learn from our some of the best players in the game by analyzing what they do. Right? They seem to have mastered this game. And I think you could break down their mindset and how they strategize, how they adapt, and how they play.
The transition was trash.
I don't care. I don't care. It was fire. It's fire to me. A lot of the best players, like, they have like different strategies and like ideas, but like you could tell they think differently than the average player, right? You know, especially when it comes to like technical play and deck building.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. I mean, some of the best people in anything just think of like what they're doing totally differently,
right,
right? From like Mr. Beast. I was telling you yesterday, like even when I was looking up, how to build a channel, and some people had examples from Mr. Beast. He thinks of how he does YouTube is totally differently. He was doing things I had no idea was even a thing, like A/B testing thumbnails, where you put yourself on a thumbnail, the expressions. I mean, it makes sense from a marketing standpoint, but it's just funny how it's just interesting how it can be that intricate.
right. Even some of the like Jesse Cotton, one of the people considered like the best player in Yu-Gi-Oh. The way he think, I heard him say one time when I was watching one of his videos, trying to build a deck and testing that you shouldn't always automatically consider certain cards for your deck, right? Like Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom just seems like a given, right? Because it works in, like, ever since it came out, it's worked against almost every deck all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, like, you shouldn't automatically just consider it just putting it in your deck, right? Which I thought was pretty interesting. And then I seen him during a live stream. I think it was during Unchained format. He was playing Unchained, and he made his board with like Caesar, and I want to say, I forgot what was the other card. I think it was like I think it was an Unchained card, but that's not important. The important part is his opponent activated Forbidden Droplet. He sent 2 cards from his hand to the grave as cost, and then Jesse Cotton chained, what was it called? Escape of the Unchained, which basically destroyed one of his cards and then one of his opponent's cards. So I think he destroyed his Unchained monster and then his opponent's Forbidden Droplet, leaving 1 monster on the field, right? And then since he got rid of one of his monsters, Forbidden Droplet couldn't resolve because since his opponent sent 2 cards, then he has to negate 2 cards. Now, in my head, I thought you could just negate, like, basically up to 2 cards, right? But it has to negate however many cards you send. So since he sent one of his monsters, then his Caesar was still alive. And I just thought, at least to me, I thought that was like pretty interesting to think about, because like that shows a very good understanding of on like how cards work and how cards interact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like seeing that, like I obviously Jesse Cotton's good, but seeing that, like, you see why Jesse Cotton like has so many accolades, right? That kind of card knowledge is like important in like almost any duel.
Right. Yeah, the best. I think how people talk about Yugi, like when you look up, like you can look up how to play a deck, you can look up, where to hand trap, or where to activate this, or, what's in what likely scenario, right? Because I guess, I mean, I guess you can run into a lot of the same situations, but when it comes to the actual gameplay, you need to a lot of times have a deep understanding of the cards, think quick on your feet, and that's what separates really the great players from even the decent ones. So it separates the YCS winners to the regional top from the regional tops.
Right, exactly, right. And he even touched on like the emergence of like spreadsheets that we have. Anytime a new deck comes out, or at least a top tier deck, there's always like a spreadsheet for it, like like for Ubel or for Rizio, which is like I think can be helpful, right? But it doesn't help you in every situation. They might tell you how to play around certain hand traps or play through certain hand traps, but it doesn't help you in every situation. You still have to know how to actually like play your deck, not just know your lines, right? Because what if your line deviates? Well, if you gotta play around certain cards.
Yeah, It's probably like a. You could probably classify something like a spreadsheet as a starter
Yeah.
to mid understanding of a deck.
Right. Right. And I think like a lot of the best players, there's a lot of them are just like really skilled because of like their deck building choices, right? And like they're not just like you don't just like, they know why every card is in their deck. Every card's in their deck for a specific reason, not just because this card could be good with the deck, or like this card is good sometimes but not all the time. It all comes down to like math, right? I mean, maybe sometimes you are like running a card just because like it's good with the deck, but most of the time it's just math, right? Like if you specific reasons why you run like a one of or a two of, right? You might run it because it's part of your combo line. You might need one or two for your combos, or maybe like you burn through one, usually like at the start of the game, and then you need one for later on, or that card might be very, I guess, targetable by opponents, right? So you need another one to help play through a lot of like interruptions, right? Like in Ubel, what was it? It was what was it? It was Nightmare. That was very people opponents usually targeted that card because that was basically like the game ender. And then me personally, I would run two because since like people wanted to get rid of it so badly, and then when I came up with another one, that would a lot of times win me games. And then even if you want to go over 40 cards, right? Whether you run 40 or more than 40, it's all about math, right? Like if you have cards you don't want to draw, let's say like a Garnet, right? Then what you can do is run more extenders or other good non-engine to be less likely to draw that that Garnet, and that way, not only even though you're running more cards, right, you're still increasing the consistency of your deck and lowering the, I guess, brickiness, which I thought it was a really interesting reasoning. And then a lot of players have like discipline and patience, right? I saw a video about Joshua Schmidt, right? Joshua Schmidt is like known for like loving runic cards, right? And and I think his constant success with runic cards shows how good he is at like resource management and patience, right? Like he knows he's not gonna like just shotgun his activations, even like because all the runic cards, that's what they do. They like interrupt your opponent, but he's not gonna shotgun those if like if he knows he's in, I guess, a advantageous situation. He's only gonna hold on to them for specific scenarios, right? So he's gonna build his board no matter how big, and he knows which cards specifically stop him. So as long as his opponent isn't getting to the point where he could stop him, then Joshua Schmidt is just gonna be chilling. It's like, sure, you can do that. Sure, you can do that. As long as he knows you're not gonna activate the one card or cards that are gonna stop him, like he's not gonna do anything to you. Which I thought, I thought was very interesting. Like his match versus Dinkabui, which is what the video went over. Like I saw a point where like, oh yeah, I probably would have activated that card at that point, but Josh didn't. He was very patient, and that's what put a lot of pressure on Dinkabui, and he ended up winning the duel. I'm like, oh wow, I think that's pretty insane.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, and I can use me as an example. A lot of players are. They're quick to activate something when maybe they didn't, I guess, need to, or maybe they overthink it. Like me, I overthink a lot when it comes, but especially when it comes to competition. So if I think, I think more about like stopping you in your tracks as early as possible,
Right.
right? Instead of maybe being patient and just waiting out whatever you're doing, right? And I know that could be that's probably hard for a lot of players. They're probably just quick to act instead of like really, and that's part of a lot of things. That's part of like not knowing your opponent's deck as well as you should, and not knowing your deck as well as you should.
Right.
Right. In the just drop some nerdy wisdom. In the art of war, they said Sun Tzu says, if you know your opponent, or I'm butchering the quote, but basically, if you know yourself and you know your opponent well, then you will not perish in 100 battles, which means you should win always, if not nearly always, right? So it's and obviously in a duel that translates pretty well by definition. So it's so yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting you say that.
Right. And another thing like a lot of the best players do, they go over like a bunch of their games. Right. They go over the game, see what they could have done better, even if they win. Because if you win, right, like you're feeling good. You feel like you played that game perfectly, and like you might feel like, oh, it doesn't matter what happened because I won, right? But even if you do win, if you go over your duel, see what you could have done better, see like if a line would have played around more cards, would have been better against more cards, then that's very important because that can help you in your next duel. In another video I saw, it was what was his name? Oh my god, Adita, right? Our last year's national champion. He was playing Unchained. He was going against Pack, and I think he normal summoned Tour Guide, right? Which that's almost like the best card in your deck, right? It was the best card in the deck because it's like it gets into all your it's your one card combo, gets into like everything. But he said he went over his duel, and when he went over it, he should have made another play because that Tour Guide play might have gotten him like everything he needed, but he lost to like 3 different hand traps, and I think that's pretty much what happened. He lost to a hand trap, and then he activated a talent, drew 2 cards, and then he passed with basically nothing, and he lost that specific duel. And even if he did the other play and still lost, he could have done the other play which loses to less hand traps.
Yeah. You know what? I think a lot of players, they're I guess they get arrogant, right? In a positive way, because when you win, you're feeling good. You think you played pretty well, but you don't see like the points where you could have lost. Right. There's something. What's it called? Oh my god, I know this too. I forgot, but it's basically this type of bias of the things you don't see, right? So there's this there was this engineer during World War II. I think some European engineers, where they had a job of figuring out how to get more planes back during World War One. Right? So what the engineers did, right, when a plane would come back, they'd look at all the damage, and they'd say, "Oh, we need to reinforce these parts of the plane because these are the most damaged parts of the plane, and they'll be more likely to come back." But what one guy did, he said, "No, we shouldn't do that." Because what he saw, these are the parts of the plane that could could be damaged and still make it back home. The parts of the plane that were the least damaged were probably the parts that were attacked and never made it back home. Right. So he said, let's reinforce these parts of the plane that are the least damaged and as a result, more came back, right? So it's often the things that you don't see, because when you lose, you see where you messed up usually, right? But when you win, you might not be so reflective.
Right. Exactly.
There's a name for it. I forgot what it's called, but a name for that bias. But go ahead.
Yeah, so it's just good to be, I guess self accountable. Right.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing good, just keep trying to
Look in the mirror.
right
And reflect.
Right. And obviously the big thing is practice, right? Practice makes perfect. A lot of players, especially the high tier players, a lot of the high tier players, they play against each other, right?
Yeah. Steel sharpens steel.
So they're already skilled. I mean, they're not saying they don't practice as much, but they don't. How do I say? I guess they don't practice as intensely, right? Because they already have a fundamental understanding of a lot of concepts for the game, right? They have they have a lot of knowledge, right? But even a lot of the best players, they still need but obviously they still need to practice a lot. And one thing I heard, how Team Samurai X1 prepared for his duel, practiced for his duel or his YCS win, right? Yubel was the best deck. Right, and Yubel was the big combo deck that people had to beat. It was almost impossible to beat if you went first, right? You would need board breakers or stop them in their tracks with hand traps, right? I think he didn't play any hand traps or almost any hand traps. He had board breakers, and what he would do is instead of going through gameplay, he would practice beating the best board of Yubel, with the Omni Negate, the effect changer with rage, etc. Right, mm-hmm. 8-9 interruptions. So he would practice go against the end board. So it's almost like working backwards, right? You practice against the end board, breaking that board, and the basic concept is if you can beat the best board of the best deck of the format, almost everything else is child's play, right?
Mm-hmm. You know what? I never. It's weird when learning about things like that,
right?
Because it seems so obvious,
right?
But you just don't think of that,
right? Like me, I ran as many hand traps as I could. I played Yubel, had my board, and then versus my opponent, I would just, I would know where to hand trap. But even if you know where to hand trap, that doesn't necessarily stop everything they're gonna do, mm-hmm. right? So Team Samurai X1, also coached by Pac, they would just practice do everything, just do it. I'll go ahead, go off, King, and then next turn he knew how to beat the best board, and if they didn't make the best board, then it was just easy. It was just easy peasy. It was easy to beat it, mm-hmm. Which I thought that was big brain. That's big brain. At least in my and in the result, he got his YCS win, his first YCS win.
Yeah. It just shows that when you think a bit. Yeah, I mean these players, they think a lot differently than the regular Yu-Gi-Oh player, than the regular, not even just Yu-Gi-Oh player, just strategist.
Right.
And I mean, it's kind of, it's a little bit of a metaphor for life, but it's getting big. Right, brain.
You gotta make a call, and that's important too. Making meta calls. One example is when Pac, I think it was a YCS Niagara Falls, the new Fuaros just came out, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously everyone wants to play it. It's the new Maxi. Everyone wants to play the new Maxi along with the Perulia. So what did he do? He brought a deck that basically didn't lose to either of those, right? He played a Centurion. Versus Centurion, you might get maybe one, maybe two draws off if the opponent activates the Maxi cards, and then he just used Centurion to just make a smaller board and be able to summon like an Iron Negate on their turn, and use I think it was 18. I want to say like 18 hand traps because they can run a high number of hand traps. But he didn't main Fuoros. He just used he main decked like high impact hand traps and hand traps he knew that could work against his opponent. Which I thought, and he got undefeated in Swiss with it. So that was an incredible meta call. And it makes sense. It makes sense. If that's why Ubel was like so bad, right? When Full Hours came out, because it lost to that. So what are you gonna do? You gotta play a deck that doesn't lose to those cards.
It's not only I guess that's also like kind of looking at market trends,
Right?
Does that make sense? Like it's not only what's going to be the strongest decks, or is looking, okay, these cards are coming out, and these are going to be very popular. These are going to be very sought after cards because of what people think it can beat. So it's,
Right.
It also goes into it goes into strategy. And I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but I think what a lot of players don't have is a team, right?
Right.
It's I mean, like you mentioned it in a couple different ways, like with the best players playing against each other, and I mean you have to have a team in anything. No, you can't go solo. You can't like try to play tests on just online or just at a locals, right? You have to have like a solid team that all have that kind of have the same that have the same goal, right? And that's to win, not just to like play against you and have fun, but
Right.
a team that that wants to win, or that wants to win, or has a goal of you winning.
Right.
It's so, and basically same goal, same mindset. Again, metaphor for life. So
Right. Yeah, I was gonna mention something like that towards the end. Like the best players can play off each other and give each other advice, and they can like help each other out, but not like everyone. Not every player has that. Like even if you do have like your group of friends, not maybe some of your friends aren't as competitive as you want to be. So what you have to do is almost like just do it yourself. Like you have to analyze what the best players are doing and constantly do your research.
you gotta find those. You gotta find those people too if you want. If you're that serious about winning. You gotta go out and
if you can, you can find those people.
yeah, go out and find a group of people that have that same kind of mindset. Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but yeah, go ahead.
But even if you can't, like you gotta, do the research, yourself, and just do what you can, right? And I think what really made me notice how a lot of the top players like just play with each other and talk to each other, right? Is during, what was it? It was YCS. Was it Rayleigh? I forgot which YCS it was, but I think it was the one right before Rizzo came out. Where a lot of the top players were playing Fiendsmith. Oh my god, what was it like? Fiendsmith Kashtira, right? And the basic idea was you make the Fiendsmith have a good resource loop, and what you basically do is just play like 20, 23, 26 hand traps. And then the rest is just like Fiendsmith, like pure Fiendsmith cards or Fiendsmith Kashtira cards. And the basic idea is to like make everyone else like come down to your level, because those cards don't do much, right? They don't make the deck doesn't make big boards. It doesn't like do a long drawn out combo. It just has its little engine, and it's stopping you. So if I'm playing like 26 hand traps, I basically have an almost 100% chance of drawing at least one, and I think I want to say, was it 80? I forgot the percentage, but it's a very high chance of drawing like at least two hand traps to stop you in your tracks. And I'm basically slowing you down, and then I can basically overwhelm you with my resource loop and and my and pick away at your resources. And that was the strategy of the deck. So not only was that a good medical, because a bunch of the top decks, they were bad against like a bunch of hand traps, and they're very, very combo heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a very, as I said, a big indicator of how the top players just like communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even the deck, the winner of that event didn't, he wasn't in that circle, but he basically ran almost like a similar deck. Right? Which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just again, goes to show how important a team with the same mindset and not even necessarily skill set. Doesn't have to be the same skill set. Similar, definitely. Right?
Right. It shows innovation, and I think the player most known for innovation is Dinkabui. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's a German player. He's basically like known for like using very, I guess, obscure or lesser known decks and getting creative with them. He won with Prank Kids back in, was it 2017, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Which that surprised everybody, because I think that was during Toss format, with like Sky Striker and Thunder Dragons and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he basically, people say he basically invented like a lot of the runic decks, like runic Fur Hire was one of the biggest ones, or runic what's that plant archetype?
Sylvia?
No, not Sylvia. It's I forgot that plant archetype, but it was another big runic. It was another big runic deck. So
Naturia?
Naturia runic. Yeah. And then he what else? It was the Magical Musketeer Fiendsmith. I don't think he necessarily came up with that deck, but he did find a way to like, make some interesting innovations. So I think that's a little bit harder for players to do. Just be innovative. I don't think, but you could try to come up with an interesting deck and make it work. Dinkabui does it all the time.
Yeah. It just goes to show you need to think outside of the box. You need to, if you want to try a card, try it. It doesn't, if you think it's ridiculous or everyone else thinks it's ridiculous, it's just all these are just like again, just metaphors for life.
Right.
It's just really interesting. Thinking differently about something, about just trying different things, building a team. That's it. I'm sure there's how to win a YCS video out there, but
yeah.
Frag, that should be the next video.
Yeah, sure, why not? A lot of the how to win. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of these videos, how to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh, how to win a YCS, how to things like that. Don't get me wrong. Those are good videos, but I think they, some of them, or I should say, like most of them, don't really. It's good advice. Don't get me wrong, but they don't get into like the nuances and the mindsets of some of the best players. All right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
yeah. You could like, of course, I have to, like know what cards, like read all my cards, know what my cards do, get enough sleep, practice. But I'm not, you can't.
That's very surface level stuff.
Right. Still good, but you're not getting into the mind of Jesse Cotton. Like Jesse Cotton, he's almost like he's almost like a crazy one of those like a grandmaster chess player when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
those
just-
grandmaster chess, they have something in their mind that's it's almost like they're something's like different about them.
Yeah, it's just it those basic things on how to win. Yeah, it's very surface level, very basic kind of.
And they can push you, and they can push the right person to win a YCS. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you'll win probably your regional, your maybe some OTS tournament, right? I mean but to win, I mean, yeah, maybe even a YCS, but to consistently top or win something as big as a YCS, yeah, you need it's those intricacies, it's those niches, those niche moments, the way you think about cards interactions, the way you think about your opponent. Right? I'm sure part of it. I'm sure part of these competitions is sizing up your opponent. Like
Right.
what kind of what could that'd be very interesting how they think about that. What kind of like when someone sits in front of you, right? What do you think of when what kind of player are they? Right.
Right.
Do you think just not only from the jump, but as they're playing, right? Can you is this someone you think can get inside you can get inside their head, or if you make a certain move, how easy is it for them to make a mistake?
Right.
Just generally sizing them up. Right. And that probably goes into those wins. So yeah, it's very interesting to me.
Yeah, man.
Whew.
What's it gonna take for me to win multiple YCSs? Not just
Right.
one.
That's really good. That's really good, right? I mean, not only a blueprint on how to win the YCS, but how to win it consistently.
Right.
Right.
It all comes down to like the way you think, your math, deck building, medicals. It's a lot. Not just. It's all about the way you're thinking about your gameplay.
And for those, it's probably for those who are like in something like sports, right? Kobe Bryant did different things. He was so I heard this from a podcast I listened to, how he thought how he practiced, right? So he'd be like the first one in during a practice and the last one out, and he would purposely like stay the longest, right? And like made sure he was the last one out, right? Not only it wasn't like necessarily second nature to him. He did it like very purposely. So it's just that kind of mindset you need to be in. It's that kind of motivation you need to make you a different type of player.
Right.
And that just translates to people may call you weird for it, right? Because that is like some weird to do. Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, if this is what makes you a winner, that's what it takes to win, then I mean, you're winning and they're not, right? So it's anyway, it's interesting.
All right. Yeah.
All right, you got anything else for the people?
No, I think that's it.
It's really interesting. It's really just interesting, like the mindsets of anybody, right? That gives them that edge, right? And then and sometimes it's like natural, right? It's something like that grandmaster chess guy, right? What's his name? Do you know his name?
I forgot his name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I think he obviously has an insanely high IQ, right? It's not something like how much he wins isn't practiced necessarily, right? I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's a way for you to practice to get near his level, but it's almost like I don't know. It's like the speed of light, right? You can
Yeah.
only get as close as possible to it, but you can never be at that. You can never get there,
Right. Yeah.
right? So it's just I don't know if I don't know if that's the case with like some of these Yu-Gi-Oh players, but uh, it's definitely just interesting how the people's brains work. But anyway, well, we appreciate you guys tuning into this episode. This was really good. This was a really good episode.
Because of me.
Anyway, moving on. Make sure you like the video, share the video. This was really good. This was like, make sure you do share the video and discuss this kind of stuff with your friends and in the comments. Turn on that notification bell. This, that, and the third, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.
Dose.